This is Code Green, weekdays from 8 a.m. on Spirit TV.
You are still watching Code Green here on Spirit TV, a place for you. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can be part of the show at any point whatsoever by sending us an SMS or WhatsApping us on the lines right on your screen. We are on TikTok, so for all the young people out there who are on TikTok, get to follow us there and get entertained by all the small clips that we get from all the shows that air here on Spirit TV. Now, it is an honor, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with this couple. They call themselves the King and Queen, but it is Esther and Hilary. And today we're going to be talking something quite interesting, depending on the angle you see it from, and that is teamwork in a marriage. Now, this is something that Esther pushes a lot on her social media platforms. We've had her here before, but this is the first time we are having Hilary on set. Good morning, guys. Good to have you. Guys, you're so cute. Are you 15?
Kings and queens.
Yeah, kings and queen. Esther here. Hilary, good morning, guys. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Yeah, good. Okay. So let me start with Hilary. Hilary, kindly introduce yourself. It's your first time here.
Yes. Hilary Akuku.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an accountant by profession.
Okay.
Though I specialize more into audits.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that's me.
All right. And Esther, I know we've had you here before, but yeah, for the people who are seeing you for the first time, kindly
I'm
introduce yourself.
Esther Karede. I'm a business queen. Yeah.
Yeah, and together they are homemakers.
We are homemakers.
Please, you have to follow them if you want to be inspired to get out of your comfort zone. Today we're talking about teamwork, and that is something that you normally push. But I'll start with you, Esther. What is teamwork to you in a marriage? What does teamwork look like?
What does teamwork look like? Teamwork for me is more of submission to each other. That's teamwork for me.
Okay.
What do you think, Hilary? What is teamwork for you?
Teamwork, I think, to me is working together, especially, say, in a marriage or in a family setting.
Yeah.
All of you have roles to play in the family. A role basically is the part that you play in the team. Everyone has a part they play. So I'm a man, she's a woman. So you play the part best on your gender. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Role and responsibility are the same thing.
Responsibility basically is what you're required to do. So,
Yeah.
but the role we play currently these days is based on one, your upbringing, on tradition, and also I can say on the society, what the society expects us to behave, how we speak, how we dress, based on my gender.
Okay.
So to me, that's how I interpret it.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought this, and let's get into gender roles within teamwork. Now, according to, what do we start with? Society. Esther, what does society describe you as a woman to do in your home?
Of course, society says I'm supposed to be cooking in the kitchen. You have to stay with the kids, nurture them,
Yeah.
and that's
Give
it.
birth.
Give birth.
Nurture.
And you get lost inside the kitchen. That's for the society
Yes.
today.
Right.
But though things have changed, the woman is now getting out there. So
And for you, Hilary, gender roles, a man, what does society describe that to be?
First of all, it's very important to talk about gender roles, you and your partner,
at the beginning,
especially both before and after marriage. Because if these things are not discussed, it can lead to chaos in the family. And it's also important that you should not say copy what your parents did, because what they do may not be necessarily what is correct.
What works for
Or what
me.
works for us. What works for my family may not be what may work for your family.
Okay.
So it's important that you sit and agree, probably even write it down. Because before we got married, in our counseling, we were asked to write down my role, what's her role, and then discuss it during the counseling session. So it doesn't mean that by writing them down, you're going to create a rigid kind of...
Set in stone.
Yeah, it's just for clarity, to have to be clear, to be flexible and understand.
Okay.
So it's important that you understand from the beginning and you're clear on who plays what role in the family. So it's very important. And also what you said in the current setting is roles keep changing. And traditionally they would say women are the ones supposed to cook. But if you know, the best cooks are actually men.
No way.
Yes, the best cooks are men.
Here's the thing. I've seen some chefs who are really good, and
Good,
they
who
are
are
men.
men.
Yes, but I think it also comes in from the angle of men who are not supposed to cook. So if you're cooking this good, it makes you better. But it's not because they are the best. You find also very nice female chefs.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you go to major restaurants, you'll find the chefs are men.
I should keep cooking. Me, I would really love.
Yes. So it's important because I may marry you and I love cooking. Meaning I'll come back
The
from
roles
work
are going to
and
change.
the roles will
Yeah.
definitely change.
So,
Okay, and I
yeah.
like the angle that you have taken. Is there anything within your marriage that, starting out, or growing up, you always knew that, my gender role as a woman will be ABCD, but in your home, it has changed due to the changing times? And I'll start with you, Hilary. Is there anything that society described as for a woman or for a man, but has changed in your own marriage?
Yes, so many. For example, in our marriage, she does business. Me, I do office work. So sometimes I reach home and she's not there. The kids are there. So what I do sometimes, I shower the kids, do homework, put them to sleep. Sometimes she travels. So if she's not around, I can do the cooking for the kids. And what people ideally would view as being a woman's role,
Yeah.
we're happy to do it, and sometimes we share these roles. Yeah.
Esther, for you, this whole thing, did it come naturally for you to be able to, share these roles depending on who is home, depending on what, or did you actually have to get yourself out of your comfort zone? Were you ever rigid and saying, you know what, I was born to do this, this is my role, and this is how comfortable I am? Did it come easy or hard?
It wasn't easy because growing up, parents, before you get married, parents don't give you the heads up. So me, I thought, hey, we are getting married, yay!
Okay.
It's going to be easy and it's just maybe takeaway and all those things, but it wasn't. When the kids started coming in, so when you enter the marriage, you just fall into place. Because you don't know what's
Right.
happening, you don't know your role. So it wasn't so, they didn't emphasize on it. Like the religious leaders don't do that, the parents don't do that.
Okay.
So we were clashing. Did we clash a bit? We were clashing, but when we started going for counseling, we realized that actually we didn't have a good foundation. So it wasn't as easy, but once you learn these things, we sat down, we wrote things like from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you are to advise the person who is watching you right now, and you can face them, especially the ones who are preparing for marriage, would you say, when would you advise them to have this conversation? Hilary said before and after, but in your angle or from your experience, when would you advise them to have this conversation?
The best time is when you're dating.
Okay.
Yeah. When you're dating, you write your roles down, both finances, what am I going to be doing, how many kids are we going to have, what will you be doing, will you work outside the home or not, and you guys have to have open, honest communication, not just any communication, but honest. Be honest. Most of us fear. We're like, oh, this guy's going to leave me if I'm too clear with him.
Right.
Or you fear that.
We have to act, Esther. You know that we have to act because you're marketing yourself. For
No, don't act, because it will catch up with you.
Yeah, it comes back to
It catches up with you. After 3 years, you start things are hard. You start saying, oh my God, this guy, me, I don't want to cook. You start mopping and you're saying, hey, you start murmuring.
Right. So you have to have the conversation when you're dating. Now,
And
Hilary,
that's-
I wanted to ask you, even just seeing that you had to rise to the occasion, maybe when she's not around and all that, how does a couple maintain respect and submission for you to a place of, if I'm doing something that is considered feminine, it does not mean I'm less than as a man. It doesn't take away my place as the king or the head of the family. I'm still the head, but I can still help out. How do you balance out that? The respect and
First-
submission.
First of all, when you're building a family, what we learned is the Bible forms the foundation. You have to, first of all, put God within the family setting. Now, if you refer to the Bible, like especially Solomon, gave 3 key principles to keep the family together. As a man, one is you have to have knowledge. Knowledge, understand the information you get, and wisdom. Knowledge is, how do I run this family? Most people don't know the knowledge. Once you get, how do I manage this family? How do I have this challenge, how do I go forward? Get solutions, understand what you have to do, and the wisdom part is the application. How do I apply it? Most people have knowledge, but they don't have wisdom. They don't know how to apply the marriage. So the marriage should be based on the Bible. For example, in Genesis, when God created Adam and Eve, He gave them dominion to rule over the earth,
Yes.
all over the animals. Together, He gave them, not him. So it means both of them are responsible. Though the woman came in as the helper, so she helps me. In other words, managing the family is my role. She helps me.
So you must have a dream, a goal,
Exactly.
a plan that
A
she
plan.
will help
She will
with.
help me. The cooking and the what is, she's helping me
Yes.
in my
Has to
role.
do it.
Okay? Now, the Bible also says she has to submit.
Right.
But how do I gain her submission? Because the Bible says you submit
To one another.
to one another, and also women submit
Reverence to Christ.
And men
Submit.
love your wives.
just as the church submits
Submits to
to
Christ.
Christ.
How do I
Okay.
submit?
I make her submit by having some characteristics like Christ. What did Christ do? He loved
Yeah.
the church. He provided for the church. He has compassion for the church. In other words, forgiving the church where it goes wrong. So when I do that, I show the love, I show the forgiveness, I am understanding. Definitely I'll gain her submission.
I like what you're saying, but I've also seen conversations where people say, doesn't that now make submission conditional? Because it's like, I'll submit if you love me right. When you love me right, then I'll submit. So how about that? How does a couple deal with that it's not conditional? This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to love or protect or what. But even when all these things are not there, as a woman, you have to submit. Is it possible to submit? where there is no love?
Is it possible to submit? I don't think if Christ came today and he starts beating you, will you submit to him?
Absolutely
He has
not.
to,
Yeah.
he has to love you first. I don't think you can submit where there's no love.
Okay.
Would you follow Christ if he came here and he starts beating you all the time?
You'll be like, Mukambwe. But
So I don't think, to me, I don't think. But of course, we need to let the word of God first sink before we get married. Most of us, we are half full or we are half empty.
yeah.
Yeah. So we come when we don't know. You need to first you need to be overflowing. Your cup should be full.
Yeah.
Then it will overflow to your spouse,
your partner,
to your
children,
kids,
to
to
the whole
whoever.
family.
So we need to really put in effort to first go on the foundation. The Bible is the foundation. If you're a Christian, that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, even as you talk about that, sometimes couples start out in love. Oh, 1 year. Okay, I don't know, but I've seen
There
1
will no
year
other
you're
place.
in love. Yes, but as time goes on, you stop being kind to each other. In that place, Esther has talked about how can you be kind, can you submit if at all Christ was beating you or harsh at you. So Hilary, what would you say to a couple that has grown and maybe they are in those years of being unkind to each other, they are rude to each other, there is no longer respect, there is no longer love, there is no longer submission, and it could be just a period of time that the marriage is getting shaken up? What would you say to that before we talk about finances?
First, Christ comes in. If you have no Christ, you'll have chaos. I said earlier. So you have to have Christ, and also that sometimes is a result of people failing in their roles. That's when the quarrels come in, the fights come in, there's no open communication, I should say.
Honest.
They are not honest from the beginning. They are hiding behind certain things. So when the real you now comes out,
The conflict must
the
come
conflicts
out.
begin.
Yeah,
You don't know when to.
Exactly.
that is interesting.
So you have to keep it real from the beginning. And also as a man, you shouldn't hide behind your egos. You know, sometimes men hide. Just, I was listening to a preaching the other day. They said after Adam ate the forbidden fruit, he hid when God was looking for him. Why? Because he failed in his role to educate Eve that this is what God had instructed us to do. And he also went ahead and ate it. So he hid. So from the very beginning, when a man fails in his role, he tends to hide. How do I hide? I come, I start shouting, I hide behind my ego, I hide behind my physicality, I start beating my wife. Or I don't be home, I run away, I hide away from home. So that all comes out because first I failed in my role and possibly I wasn't open enough from the beginning.
I like that. That is quite interesting. As we wrap up, let's talk about finances. Hey, that is a big one, especially under gender roles. The times right now require the man and woman to go out there and work. Up to date, when I was preparing for this interview, I asked young people who are married, how do they do it? And I asked about four men, and all of them were saying, me, I provide everything, and they are young, they are working, I provide everything. The woman's money is emergency. Those things that I don't look at, simanya curtain, simanya bedsheet, simanya one. But I'm going to give you guys 4 categories of people and how they handle their finances, and you will maybe advise, depending on your own experience, what would best suit couples out there. Number 1, we have a couple who the man gets his money, or he says, Esther, I earn 1 million. So at the end of the month, the man gets 1 million, gives it to the wife. Take care of everything. neza transport ojja kumpaako.
Yeah, that's nice.
So there's that one. Then we have a couple who they sit down and say, let's go 50-50. How much do we spend a month? We have bills, ABCD, so 50-50. You bring 50, I bring 50. Then we have those ones who are like, how much can you raise a month? So the woman says, I can bring 200K a month. So the man says, okay, I'll take care of the balance. That is the third. And then the fourth, we have those ones who separate it with bills. As a man, I'll pay rent, you'll pay school fees, I'll pay water, you pay. So of those four, I don't know if I've exhausted the ones you've heard of with different couples, but of those four, which one would you say is most likely to help this couple move forward? Or which one would you, as a person, you choose one and maybe he'll also choose which one?
Maybe just a question. Of those four categories, the first one you said was the man providing everything. What happens if the man is not working?
No, the man is not providing
and it's
everything.
The woman who has, in this case,
man.
the more money.
No, the man is not providing everything. Those ones were just the studies I made.
Okay.
The first one was the man brings the earnings, yeah,
to the wife.
And gives you. It's not like you're not earning. You will add. But for me, I've shown you that I earn 1 million and it's what I've given you. So it's up to you. That is what I have. Yeah, so that is the first couple. But the woman is working as well. And if I told the one M is not enough,
fifth couple. The one where the husband
is providing everything.
No, the woman is now the one providing everything. There's also that.
There's also that.
that.
Interesting. Okay. Which couple, which scenario are we going with?
Regardless of, let me maybe go first. Regardless of all those scenarios, practically, the man is the head.
Yes.
The man who is supposed to run the family. So in all that, there are certain responsibilities that the man should take over. Whether it's the woman bringing the earnings or regardless, if she has more money than me, we can agree. We can agree and say, okay, I'm having school fees, I'm paying for the food at home. Because if I leave, say, the food at home for the woman, and every day we are eating beans, I should not come back home and say, why are we eating beans?
Right.
So that role, I may then decide to take it on by myself. Now my background is more in finance, more in accounts. So in that case, I plan for the family. If she wants to bring in, say, is it the third scenario talked about? I bring some, you bring some.
Yes.
She's bringing some to help me.
Right.
Okay?
But you take the lead.
But I take the lead, regardless.
Okay. So you would advise mostly that.
Mostly that.
Okay, as we wrap up, Esther, for you, what would you
I
advise?
think every marriage is unique. Every home is unique.
Right.
Yeah, you have to, at the beginning, you have to see where you lie. If we are here, you agree. And things change with time. Things can change. You leave that flexibility.
Yes.
But you need to work according to what works for you. Don't say because Birunji's marriage is like this, ours must be like that.
It has to work like that.
So
right.
you have to.
Okay, thank you so much. So there we go with the gender roles and teamwork in a marriage. Now, I know the social media handle we are going to give is at Dinner Sets, right?
Yes, and Esther's access.
Okay. So Esther, how do people get in touch with you? Esther is so much into homemaking. She has one of the best, not one, but the best.
The best.
Yes. Anything to do with home, whether it's your bathroom or it's your bedroom or it's your dining, your kitchen, anything to do with that, tableware, the best there is in the country, she is the person. How do people get in touch with you?
Jay's Dinner Sets on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook, yes.
And Esther's Access for the homemaking part. Have you joined? Did you join?
So we have to go. Thank you so much to Esther and Hilary for coming to the show. And Esther, we will have her again here because we are going to be talking about how best to save for that up life. If you want to take your kitchen to the next level, Esther will be back sometime next month to be able to talk about that. So let's go for a short break and piggy banks, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go for a short break. When we return, we have Brian Lubega here. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thank you.
This is Code Green, weekdays from 8 a.m. on Spirit TV.